Step into the Vatican, where there's more than meets the eye. Beyond the famous buildings, there are secrets tucked away. Join us as we uncover 10 of these hidden truths. From old mysteries to new surprises, we'll shine a light on what the Vatican doesn't always talk about. Get ready to explore and learn about the side of the Vatican that's not always in plain sight. Number 1. Spiritual battles. Despite the progress in science and psychology, the Roman Catholic Church continues the ancient tradition of exorcism, dating back to the Middle Ages when mental health concepts were not understood. Surprisingly, this tradition persists in the modern era of advanced neuroscience and psychology, with the Catholic Church openly advocating and practicing exorcisms even today. The Church actually thinks demonic possessions have markedly increased over the past few years, and Pope Francis himself advised people to seek out exorcists if they were suffering from spiritual disturbances. Some people think Pope Francis performs exorcisms as well. Back in 2013, there was a rumor that he performed one in public on a man in a wheelchair. Even the former chief exorcist, Father Gabriel Amorth, passed away in 2016, and it's reported that he alone performed around 160,000 exorcisms in his lifetime. Despite criticisms of sensationalism and abuse, the Church continues to perform exorcisms, with popes engaging in the practice in recent years. Father Amorth recounted an incident involving Pope John Paul II, attempting an exorcism on a woman who exhibited severe symptoms, but ultimately required Amorth's intervention to complete the exorcism. Despite skepticism, the Church remains undeterred, having conducted hundreds of thousands of exorcisms and intending to continue in the future, regardless of outside opinions or scientific perspectives. Before moving on, please share this video, hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to share it. Number 2. Trial of the Dead. One of the strangest trials in human history was carried out in the Vatican. In the year 897, a shocking event unfolded within the Vatican under the reign of Pope Stephen VI. This macabre trial occurred during a time of chaotic papal successions. Pope Formosus, who had passed away, was accused posthumously of perjury and unlawfully holding 2 positions of power. This led to the extraordinary act of exhuming Formosus's body for trial. Propped up on a throne, his corpse was subjected to a grotesque spectacle. Despite being deceased, Formosus was declared guilty, stripped of his papal attire, and even had his fingers, used for blessings, severed. This vengeful act was driven by Stephen's dissatisfaction with Formosus's political decisions, particularly his alliances. The Cadaver Synod incited widespread public outrage in Rome. The populace viewed the trial as both cruel and petty, reflecting poorly on Pope Stephen VI. Eventually, this anger boiled over into a revolt, resulting in Stephen's imprisonment and subsequent demise. This grim episode serves as a stark reminder of the perilous power struggles and political vendettas that characterized medieval Vatican politics. Number 3. Secrets of Fatima. The saga of the 3 Secrets of Fatima emerged in 1970, thrusting apocalyptic visions and prophecies into the limelight. Though widely known, the Vatican remains reticent about these revelations. These secrets, revealed to 3 young Portuguese shepherds by a Marian apparition called Our Lady of Fatima, were initially kept hidden. Lucia Santos, along with her cousins Jacinta and Francisco, shared these secrets after being visited by the Virgin Mary multiple times in 1917. The first secret showed a frightening vision of hell, witnessed by all 3 children. The second secret predicted the First World War and its aftermath. However, it's the third secret that garnered the most interest, and it was kept separate from the first 2. Lucia wrote it on paper, sealed it in an envelope, and instructed not to open it until 1960. When it was finally unveiled, only a select few saw its contents, which remained hidden from the public until 2000. The third secret is a vision of the 1981 assassination attempt on Pope John Paul II. The prophecy describes the bishop wearing a white dress as he makes his way towards a cross. He's then seen struggling to get to it as corpses of many thousands of martyrs surround him. But after he reaches the cross that's installed on the top of a mountain, he's killed by bullets and arrows. Two angels standing under each arm of the cross are also described. However, this may not be the entire third secret, as many people believe that all of the contents of this letter from Lucia were not made public then. The Vatican is still keeping it a secret. Number 4. The Chronovisor. The Chronovisor is supposedly a device that gives its user the ability to see through time. Father Pellegrino Ernetti claimed involvement in developing a purported time machine called the Chronovisor between the 1960s and 1990s, purportedly using it to witness the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. While its existence remains unverified, a 2002 book by priest Father François Brunei shed light on Ernetti's account. According to Brunei, Ernetti, a Benedictine monk, kept the device confidential until the early 1960s, when he disclosed its construction to Brunei. Allegedly, 12 scientists, including Enrico Fermi and former Nazi Werner von Braun, collaborated on the device, said to be constructed of cathode rays, antennas, and versatile metals. The Chronovisor allowed the team of scientists to document events of the past, and they believed this machine could help them to validate the teachings of the Bible. Brunei wrote that Ernetti told him the device had several antennas, 3 of which were made of mysterious metals, and there was also a direction finder that tuned into the era that one wanted to see. A screen showed the desired event, while a recording device recorded the footage. It was more of a window into the past instead of a typical time machine. Ernetti claimed to have witnessed historical events such as Cicero's speech and the founding of the Roman Empire using the Chronovisor. He maintained that the device was stored in the Vatican for safekeeping, but its existence remains shrouded in mystery, with no solid evidence to support his claims. Number 5. Vatican and the World War II. Another one of the Vatican's dirty secrets is their involvement with the Nazis. It's no secret that the Vatican just silently stood by and watched as Hitler and his Nazi army committed inhumane crimes and atrocities during the Second World War. Following the Allied forces' triumph in Germany, ending World War II, fleeing Nazis sought refuge primarily in South American nations like Argentina, Chile, and Brazil. Harvard researcher Gerald Steinacher delves into this post-war exodus in his book, uncovering travel documents indicating Vatican assistance to Nazis in their escape. Steinacher suggests this aid stemmed from a desire to rekindle European Christianity and counter the Soviet Union's burgeoning influence. However, the Vatican remains tight-lipped regarding these allegations, refusing to address or verify the claims made by Steinacher. This silence leaves room for speculation and raises questions about the extent of the Vatican's involvement in aiding fleeing Nazis. The implications of such assistance, if proven true, would undoubtedly have significant ramifications on the Vatican's historical role and reputation, particularly in the aftermath of World War II. Number 6. The Secret Court. The legal system in the Catholic Church is independent thought. The Vatican has a special court to investigate crimes that they consider to be extremely serious. The people accused of these horrible crimes are tried by this select group of bishops, known as the Apostolic Penitentiary, or the Tribunal of Conscience. Although Pope Alexander III established the court in 1179, very few people were aware of its existence until 2009. Cases involving sins so serious that only the Pope can pardon the offenders are investigated by the tribunal. Genocide is a crime that regular priests can handle, so crimes that come before the Pope must be much worse. Well, maybe not in all scenarios. The crimes that can lead you to be tried by the Apostolic Penitentiary include trying to assassinate the Pope, exposing the identity or the sin of someone who confessed, priests engaging in sexual activity, abortions, and more. Surprisingly, this tribunal also perceives spitting out a communion wafer to be an act worthy of trial. The only person qualified to offer absolution is the Pope, who serves as the panel's head. Because the Church views this as a matter of conscience, cases in this court are heard privately under bogus pretenses, so no one is aware of the types of crimes or violators who were brought before this tribunal or whether they were found guilty or not. Number 7. Satan's Spellbook. Hidden within the Vatican's extensive secret archives lies a mysterious and chilling tome that remains off-limits to all but a select few. Known as the Le Grand Grimoire, this ancient book, believed to be penned around 1520 by the enigmatic Honorius of Thebes, is considered the most perilous compendium of spells in existence. Legend has it that Honorius himself may have been influenced by demonic forces during its creation. Written in Biblical Hebrew or Aramaic, the Le Grand Grimoire, also known as the Red Dragon, was reportedly unearthed in the tomb of King Solomon in 1750. Within its pages lie instructions for crafting magical talismans, summoning spells for lottery success, and communing with spirits and demons. Yet, the most chilling aspect of this tome is its purported method for summoning Lucifer and making a pact with him. While numerous copies of the book exist, experts speculate that many are either counterfeit or altered to render their spells ineffective. Nonetheless, believers maintain that even these replicas possess a certain degree of power. The original manuscript, safeguarded by the Catholic Church, remains shrouded in mystery, with its precise location known only to a select few within the church hierarchy. Number 8. Vatican Leaks, also known as VatiLeaks, erupted into a global scandal akin to a religious version of WikiLeaks. In 2012, a trove of documents exposing rampant corruption within the Vatican was leaked to the public, shaking the foundations of the world's most revered religious institution. It all began with a television show called The Untouchables. This was followed by a book titled His Holiness, The Secret Papers of Benedict XVI, written by a man who exposed some pretty controversial and confidential information. The Vatican Leaks exposed confidential memos detailing financial improprieties, including bribes for papal audiences. Archbishop Carlo Maria Vigano's letters unveiled a corruption scheme, revealing inflated contract prices and financial losses. Additionally, power struggles, political intrigue, and factional infighting within the Vatican were revealed, along with a startling prediction of the Pope's death by Cardinal Paolo Romeo. These revelations also uncovered blackmail of homosexual clergy members. Despite Pope Benedict's denial, the accuracy of the leaks prompted urgent Vatican meetings, resulting in the conviction of 2 aides for leaking the documents. Number 9. Child abuse. In recent years, the Catholic Church has faced a wave of sexual abuse allegations spanning various regions, from rural Australian towns to schools in Ireland, America, and Canada. Reports surfaced as early as the 1980s in the United States and escalated in the 1990s in Ireland and Austria. But the worst cases were reported from Ireland and Austria in the 1990s. Back then, the Church had no policy to protect and ensure the well-being of children. No one was even required to report crimes against children to the Church. Church leaders have apologized following exposés like the Boston Globe's in the early 2000s. Settlements with abuse victims by U.S. dioceses from 2000 to 2010 highlighted the extent of the problem, with thousands of priests accused over 5 decades. However, recent inquiries in France exposed widespread abuse, and many feel the Vatican's response has been insufficient, with cover-ups continuing and little meaningful action against offending clergy. Number 10. Secrets of Vatican Bank. The Vatican Bank, officially known as the Institute for the Works of Religion, IOR, has found itself entangled in a web of controversy and scandal over the years. Among the most contentious issues is its alleged involvement with Hitler's regime. Renowned historian Gerald Posner has drawn attention to documentation suggesting that the Vatican received church tax payments from Hitler's government on an annual basis, thereby implicating the Vatican in financial transactions with one of history's most reviled figures. Furthermore, reports indicate that a significant influx of funds flowed into the IOR, effectively shielding it from the prying eyes of Western banking regulations. This influx of capital, rumored to amount to billions of dollars, was allegedly funneled into the Vatican Bank with little transparency or accountability. The precise nature and origin of these funds have remained veiled in secrecy, with the Vatican Bank steadfastly refusing to divulge details to the public or regulatory authorities, leaving many to question the integrity and trustworthiness of one of the world's most influential financial institutions.